And today I have a beautiful guest with me on the studio. It is none other than a lady born and bred in Port Elizabeth, which is now known as Gqeberha. And she will be taking us through the 80s and 90s about how Port Elizabeth was on her side before the 2000s. She is a SALGA Provincial Executive Committee for the Eastern Cape. It is no other than Miss Buyelwa Kanyo Mafaya. A warm welcome to you on the Throwback, ma'am.
Thank you very much for having me at the Throwback, and I'm excited and humbled to have me here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, please take us back. How was Port Elizabeth when you growing up as a lower primary school learner in the 80s?
Wow. Port Elizabeth during 80s and 90s was far from what it is here today. Okay. It is today. Then 1980s, we were schooling at these schools with different education than the white schools, and it was forced to be like that. And as learners at the time, you had to study Afrikaans, whilst you don't even know what it means, but it was forced to do so. And you had to walk to school, and you were not even choosing, have a liberty to choose which school you want to study in. Sometimes you'll be lucky to study at the school wherein the school is nearby your house, and sometimes you don't even get to be registered there. You had to walk a mile to get to a school where you would find a space to study in. And at the time of 1980s, at least we were listening to each other. Yes. As children. Yes. There was less bullying. Okay. You would relate very well and easily to other kids. Even if you do not have a lunch, it was easy to get something from another child, unlike today. Right. Because today, comparing then, one needs to have money, one needs to have a lunch box, and you are easily teased if you do not have. But at the time, that was not even known whether you at home you are poor or not, because we were like family, one family at the very same time. Right. So the difference between 1980, 90 and today, it's far, it's the difference is huge.
Huge.
It's huge.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, please tell us about growing up in the dusty streets of Zwide. Which modes of transport did you use, or which mode of transport were available for the public specifically?
During the time, the modes of transport that were available were the taxis, the buses, okay, the trains. Though the trains were not used that much, but what was popular was the taxis, okay, and the buses. The buses were mostly used by those who are working, and the taxis by everyone else, whether you're going to the shop, which is far from where you live, if you're going to town, and seeing to be riding on a taxi, you were termed as one of those who have something. And those who get to the buses were somewhat known as they don't have much. And those who were using trains were rather those who were nearby trains, or rather compelled to take trains because of the time they're working in their workplace, from home and to the work. So the train was not that popular as it is maybe now, but the taxi was the popular one at the time.
All right, as it is now.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, I'm getting very curious right now. Currently, we are using the rand as our currency. Did you perhaps have a different currency other than the rand back then?
Rand, it was rand even then. But we were told by our parents that at some stage, rands were pounds.
Okay.
of which I'm sorry, I've never seen a pound.
Okay.
But I think shilling, pound, there were those kind of names which we do not understand. But
Yes.
in 1980 and 1990, rand, 10 cents, 20 cents, 5 cents were the monies, were the currencies that were there, which are still there. But though you will never find a cent today, you will never find 5 cents today. And today, even if you are doing your shopping, if you do not have a 10 cents, they can give you something. But then 10 cents was an issue. You can't have a rand without having a 10 cents.
All right.
So the currency was that.
Mama, can you please tell us about the trends of your teenage years and what was happening in the Kasi, or rather in the township area?
Wow. Thinking about that, one gets a heartache. I really get a heartache. Because at the time then, there was a peer pressure, but one would always listen to the family. We wanted our independency. We were competing against each other, but never looking down to any of ourselves. And what was nice about the time then, your mother was my mother. So there was no way that you would do something and think that you won't get hiding from a neighbor's mom. And it was a showcase. If you go home crying, you'll be beaten too without even asked who beat you.
Okay.
Parents just know that there's something wrong that you have done, unlike today. And it's something one really, you would want, how can we really go back to those days where even though you want to be somebody, you want your independence, you want to fit, because at the time we wanted to fit in. We knew exactly, you don't just want to fit in and do whatever you please. You wanted to fit in knowing very well that whatever that you do, your parents mustn't find out about it. Unlike today, children today, they don't care. They just do as they please. So as parents of today, then in 80s and in 90s, really you would want the children of today to really go back on those days. I think we would be a better society because we wouldn't get what we have today. 80s and 90s were much better than today. That I can say for sure. As much as I was brought up by a very strict family. My dad was working at General Motors. At 4 o'clock, the pilot was coming in, and he can't see us in the street playing. And you know, what was called onjika and all of that. I don't even know how to play njika because my dad was very strict. He never gave us a chance to do so. Even my friend has left maybe a ruler or homework. If he comes home, if my father is there, my father would just tell, "You'll get it tomorrow, baby girl," home, with a smile. But today it's something that really kids, and I think it's from parents, because parents then knew your child is my child, but today it's something else.
All right, ma'am. Were there any popular fashion trends like certain hairstyles and attires or outfits? And if so, which one would you love? Which one did you love the most and would bring it back even now?
Oh, your afros. Oh, your afros. The platform shoes. Your ball bottoms. And I've just seen now in one of the shops. Your ball bottoms are back. The platforms are back. The afros are in. So yeah, what happened then? We still embrace them as if it was I mean, yesterday. So the fashionista, everyone who was wearing what one would want it to do. I remember my grandmother sewed us, me and my sister, a Terralina dress, a similar dress, something that you will never get now. But then the fashion at the time was embraced by everyone. If you don't have, we are going somewhere, one would borrow you. It's either your platform or your ball bottom, but one of the other one must have. So that's how beautiful it was, even the fashion, how it was embraced at the time.
Beautiful indeed. The high school, ma'am, you attended, right? It is known for being strict. Was it always like that, or is it a thing of this generation?
It was very strict.
Oh.
You can imagine at the time we were schooling, we were, if you can term us, the guinea pigs, the first kids to go to multiracial school. Mm-hmm. We would take a bus to Coston and with our clothes. And there was an Uncle Jacobs, wherein we would change our clothes to our uniforms because we can't be seen wearing those, because at the time there was a boycott in our township, and you would be slapped by a young boy. And if you want to hit the boy back, know for sure that there are those who are bigger than him that would come for you. So it wasn't easy. And at school, as much as my school, Peterson High School, was the first school to have English as a first language. So I studied English as a first language and Afrikaans as my tweede taal. So it was a good, I remember at the time the principal was Mr. Peterson. There was a time wherein we were taken out from school to the rugby field where we were asked to sing political songs. And Mandela lies over the ocean. Mandela, Mandela, please bring back Mandela to us. And that's what you do. You cannot take it home. It was just that once the principal and the teachers hear us and see us doing that, we are in for hiding. So it was strict. And I am glad the school I was in, it's still strict even today. So it was strict even there.
We have reached the end of the trip back in time with Mrs. Buyelwa Mafaya, a true inspiration from the dusty streets of Port Elizabeth in Sweden.